Well, viewers, we have a really fun one for you tonight. This is the first expedition of a new crew committing crimes in the Victorian steampunky fantasy world of Dusk of All. The wonderful scenario, almost a sandbox world. Look at that. Can I even figure it out? Blades in the Dark by John Harper. It's a phenomenal little game, that big to read and packed with interesting information that will tell you all about the world as well as the fun characters. It's a fast game. It's a different game from D&D or Vampires the Masquerade, Call of Cthulhu, any of those others. It's very, very different. And for someone like me who's played a lot of those, it trips me up from time to time. However, it's a lot of fun. So bear with us as we learn how to do this together, but at the same time, enjoy the fact that we are just struggling monkeys like the rest. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to bring in our wonderful players so that you can meet them and we can talk a little bit about their characters before we move on. So here we are. You can see to my right, I think that's, you see Bugsy, and I have not put his name of his character in yet, but it's said it, and I'll fix that, as he tells you about his character. Bugs?
Hi. Yeah, so my name's Said It.
And
I'm a hunter.
he's
I
a
hunt
hunter.
things.
More than a hunter and a gatherer,
I hunt them very well.
What exactly do you hunt?
So I'm a. Sorry, 2 moments, GM.
Well, if you don't mind, let me move forward across to Felix, who's got this wonderful character called the Cat. Go figure. Felix the Cat. The amount of humor and wit in this group is amazing.
That was my last character. So.
Oh no! I'm so sorry. That is absolutely the case. I have left this over
Let's
from the last one.
So,
and on all the jokes aside, what is yours again? It's Wrecker,
okay,
right?
For this game, my character is called Fred Dibner,
and goes
he's
by
a Victorian. He goes by the Wrecker.
Very
he's
good.
A crusty, feral-looking character. And he's an ex-military medic from the Dagger Isles. His vice is pleasure. So in his downtime, he likes to pursue pleasure.
As you do.
Yeah, he's well renowned for blowing things up. He's a bit of a tinkerer, a wrecker. But he's also got skills in medicine as well.
Very good. And for those in the U.S., that's medicine with that extra vowel that's actually written, because our British friends just drop letters all the time and pick their nose. Go ahead, Bugsy.
Shots fired. Shots fired. Okay, sorry, I had a bit of difficulty earlier, so thank you very much for coming back to me. Right, so my name's Nurgle Smokeshire. People call me Said It. They call me Said It because that's the name of my cat. Yes, I have a cat. I am lovely, charismatic, strong, athletic, fitted leggings, tall boots, almost like Puss in Boots. There you go. And if I really wanted to, I think I could get the smouldering eyes too. Maybe not, as they're completely black apart from the jade irises. Yes, I'm from Tycross.
Oh.
I used to be in law enforcement. Now, however, with Wreck-It, we're up to other things. I scout, I find, we do, we come away. It's an easy life.
Very, very good. I like hearing about that. So how did you two decide upon embarking on crime as a way to move forward? I'm interested in that.
So, if I remember, Rekka, I was after somebody to basically mend up a small patch on Sedit, and I asked all the right questions, and I got no answers until one of the patrons recommended I go to this place where there's a nice alternative way of getting remedies. And that's where I first stumbled across. And it's quite a unique fellow. So after speaking at length and after him trying hard not to soil himself for the size of my cat, he applied what was needed, said it was very happy, and did a surprisingly weird thing, which was to basically put his paws on Reckitt's shoulders and give him a lick up the side of his. He's never done that to anyone else. Normally, his mouth goes straight for the throat. So I thought that Reckitt was unique, and I couldn't leave his abode alone. And I was trying to find any excuse to go back, because most people don't treat me as fairly as other people in the cities. So for Reckitt to be kind, expensive for my time back then, but for Sedit to actually like him did put me in a bit of a, yeah, it was a strange feeling and a strange time. So
did you indulge in your vice
quite...
then? I was just wondering.
No.
Okay, fair enough.
He's
Fair enough.
definitely not my type. I prefer somebody with a little bit more girth.
Fair enough. So, with that said, is there anything else you would like to add, Wrecker, about your initial meetings and deciding to partner up with this stranger from Tychoros?
Not particularly. I think not particularly.
Aside from being licked in the face, it is what it is.
Yeah, I got licked in the face by his pussy. Cat.
Her.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
You're a woman.
Yes.
No. The creature is.
No, I am a female.
You're a female.
The cat is a cat. I am a female.
Fair enough.
Okay. Right.
I've got it. Okay.
Not my type.
Not your type. Okay. Fair enough. So we have an interesting little group, and they have decided on this life of crime, and they've done a couple of little things here and there, and they've sort of settled upon the fact that they are working in. So if you see my little cursor running around, their area to go after is the most wealthy and dangerous of places to be preying upon. White Castle. However, they make their lair down here in the area called the Docks. Look at that! I can make the wonderful. So White Castle. It's not White Castle, is it? I'm saying the wrong term. Oh my word. Anyway, this is an interesting world for those of you who are not used to it as we move forward. So, Duskoval is a city that sits at the top of Akaros, which is one of the islands of this shattered world. If you can see here, here's Duskoval. The world was shattered about 1,000 years ago. It was an idyllic fantasy world. Magic, everything going as it should, and we don't know why. But suddenly the sun burst apart, the gates of death were burst open, the world was shattered. We now live in a world of perpetual night or twilight, depending if it's night or quasi-day, when the shattered remnants of the sun peak above the horizon. And that brings a lot of complications. At first, the remnants of humanity had to try and find ways to survive. They moved to a more industrial, a more steampunkish feel, running through coal and through gas and things that they could find to push away the darkness and try and help grow the few things that were left alive. Then they discovered that in the now ink dark seas, instead of the blue seas that they used to have, were these horrid Leviathan demon things. When hunted and bled, that blood could be rendered, the powerful life force within those things could be rendered in what was called electroplasm. When used to power the devices of this world, not only does it provide light and energy and radiant creatures to somehow provide a chance to grow things and have livestock, it also repels the spirits and wraiths who are wandering in the Deadlands. So Duskfall itself is a city that sits within a ring of lightning towers, powered by the blood of Leviathans, demonic creatures. And within that are these desperate times where the rich are super rich and the poor are super poor. So, wow, what a turbulent cauldron into which to throw some players who cannot get away from this sandbox existence inside their town. Now you know what they're dealing with. Anyway, let me pull off of this. Well, I will try to pull off of this. My internet has been ridiculously painful tonight. Roll20 is a phenomenal tool. We love it to death. And tonight it's been behaving a little bit meanly to me. And that's largely because of where I live in the backside of Northamptonshire in England, where I've got like 130 people in my village. Okay, so as you see, here's the city itself, and we've talked a little bit about the chosen prey, the chosen ground. Oh no, where our folks try to work, and now we're going to talk a little bit about. We're going to move into what in this game is called free play. The game sort of has several phases. We have a free play time. We move to the score. And then we move to what's called downtime. And each of those has its own specific things that happen. And so you'll get to watch our characters go through this. And it is a very cooperatively creative game. And I'm going to absolutely reload. I apologize. But it does happen. That's okay. It does not happen normally. It does happen when my internet is behaving just as weirdly as I would expect it to. So, we are now moving into the phase we call open play or whatever you wish. I'm going to ask some questions to generate some things here. Please describe to me where you live. What is your lair like? And I'll address it to Bugsy first and let Felix jump in. That way we can just sort of not have that awkward pause. Describe the, who gets to talk?
Wow. I'm sure Rekka will contradict me because I think that where we live is the most superb upmarket on water that money can buy. It's got 360 views of the Docklands. It's there's no stench of the Docklands at all. We've got the kitchenette area that we prepare all of the eels on and soups for evening meals. It's got bedrooms in it, so myself and Rekka, we've got enough space for what we need. It's the biggest boat in the Docklands. It's amazing. One step down from luxury, but still very, very close.
So, Wrecker, what I'd like you to do is on your Roll20 map, ping where your ship is, your boat, your canal raft, your whatever you choose it to be. And maybe you don't see it in quite as prosaic a terms as Reddit. Not Reddit. Good grief, said it. Yeah.
Okay. Is the pinging working?
In Roll20, you should be able to click and cause a ping. It's not going to show. It may not. It may not show on mine. I'm not sure.
You need to share your map, I think, and then I might be able to ping on it.
My map is up there in Roll20.
It's not on my screen.
I know exactly what I did. Everyone, look at this. So these are the maps and things that I have available. The thing that says players is where the players are. This is one of the most rookie mistakes you can possibly make in Roll20. Look at that. They can now see the map.
Okay, it's loading.
Oops. That's pretty rookie.
Just give me a second, because at the moment I'm... Oh, here we are. Okay.
So here we go. So this is the docks. Yeah. When I click, a wonderful ring pops up. This is Docklands. Okay.
This is where our boat is.
Oh, right off the big dock, right there. Okay, very good.
To me, it's a fairly nondescript boat. It may seem luxurious inside, but actually it's fairly nondescript. And we're right on the end of the pier, where there is less of a stench.
Very good.
And the reason we chose a nondescript boat was because it was easily disguisable. It could be repainted, refitted, in case we got in trouble.
Fair enough.
So that's where we're moored presently.
Very good. So each of you have friends and enemies. Can you give me a little bit of background on your friends and enemies? We'll start this time with Felix. Excuse me, with the Wrecker. Jesus Christ.
Wrecker. So on our boat, we've also got a workshop.
Okay.
Which is quite usul.
Do you, or do you just have tools? Just wondering.
We had workshop. I thought we had a workshop and tools.
Can't remember. It's okay.
We do.
Very good.
So we have a workshop and tools, which is useful. Personally, I've got an enemy. That's Ekrid, who's a corpse thief. Who I caught one day carrying away the body of my dead mother, and which is why we are now lifelong enemies. And he managed to escape my grasp. And I have another friend who's called Stasia, who's an apothecary, which is useful because she supplies me with medical supplies.
Very good.
So those are my
I like
main
it.
acquaintances.
So
Yeah.
another thing, and by the way, this might be a little bit of a shocker for my players, not to one of them, but to one that's new. The problem we've got with the gates of death being thrown open is that when a person dies, it causes a conundrum. Their spirit comes out and will rapidly go mad and become super dangerous. There are some called the reconciled who have figured out how to survive in the ghost world without going absolutely mad and chasing down life forms, hoping for some satisfaction of touching the warmth of the human. So when someone dies in Duskball, there's a loud ringing sound that happens close to the death. There's also a loud ringing sound that happens elsewhere, that in the crematorium. Suddenly, the death crows will rush out to help find the corpse. And then, not too long later, you'll have problems with, and I can't remember the name of the group, and I'll do it. Give me just 2 seconds, and this pops up right in front of you. The Spirit Wardens. Why can I not remember the name? So the Spirit Wardens will show up fairly rapidly, and they are some dangerous folks to deal with. So, killing someone is a bit dangerous. If the Spirit Wardens capture the spirit, as they choose to do, and then destroy it in a bath of electroplasm, they'll first question it to see who killed it. That's not so good for our murdering types, so they've got to try and find other ways to deal with things, or they have to try and capture the spirit or other things. Okay, that said, let's move on. So we've described where you live. We've described that you're into the pier and the docks, and that you work your way across in the this other section. But and called White Crown, White Castle, White Crown.
No, the other one.
I
The other
tell
one.
you, White. Yes. So you
It's
do. You're in
Brightstone.
Brightstone that you do most of your work. So the city itself is sort of a cross of Prague and Venice and Old London, where you have numerous canals, and the map itself doesn't show you the full extent of the canals. You have an undercrypt of sewers and weirdness. You've got a jumble of multi-story buildings with gangplanks across third floor and fourth floor areas. You have wealthy areas with residential bridges. It's a very interesting place to live. Okay. You two, and we treat the game very cinematically. So we'll use terms such as the camera moves in or whatever. And this is to sort of help frame our imagination on what we're seeing. The camera zooms down to an overview of your ship. What does it look like from the top down? Wrecker.
Our ship.
From the top down.
So from the top, this is a.
About how many meters?
I would say it's a small, so a large barge size.
Very good. So like a large barge size. And the camera rotates and comes down across the dark water and up to a porthole in the side and peers in at two people. Wrecker, describe yourself again.
I'm a feral-looking chap.
What does feral mean?
It means I don't cut my hair. I'm pretty grubby. I don't take too much pride in my appearance.
Very
I
good.
try to get the job done.
What are you wearing?
I'm wearing a Victorian cape, a linen shirt and just Docker's trousers.
Very good. And sitting across the small table that has a lantern upon it is another person. Said it?
Said it's currently eating a Victorian biscuit.
Wonderful of me
It's
to
quite
catch you.
oaty. It's quite oaty with an undertone of current.
Ah,
And no, we're not talking about the sloshing of the water making our ship go from side to side. Yes, nice flowing, completely the opposite to Wrecker. Wrecker, in my opinion, looks the way that he does because I steal all of the hot water on the ship. Because one needs to take time to look this good.
And what type of outfit is Said it wearing?
Figure hugging all the way.
Ah. So
Everything is spectacularly tight, shows off nearly everything. Of course, no toes of camels were used in the production of said trousers.
fair enough. And
However,
seating, we can't see that from the porthole. In front of you is not a completely beggarly meal. It's not just eel pie or stew. There are some vegetables and other things on there. You're not completely destitute in any way, shape, or form. But you are a little surprised that you hear a couple of steps come across your gangplank. And then there's a thump thump up above on the deck. And then you hear, "Hey, fellas, let me in." And you recognize the voice of Valeris, who happens to be a bit known of as a bit of a spy and scoundrel, but she is also a friend of one of you. Care to describe?
she's the hot one.
Ah, is she? So, as far as my
I
characters,
get up. I walk over to the door. I yank it open swiftly
very good.
and just look at her. And then I smile.
What does she look like, this spy? What is her race, by the way? Not race, or her ethnicity in this world?
She is and local.
Okay.
She is local to the area.
Very good.
Born and bred in Duskval. However, she has ventured outside of the city and the surrounding areas.
So she's
She is travelled.
She's Akarosi.
Not everything.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, not everything happens inside of the city. We've been friends for a good many years, mainly because of the fact that, law enforcement. She's always been in one career. I left to venture off into other things because I didn't like the political spectrum that the law enforcement was going into, and I would never actually make a detective. Not that I wanted to. My type of background, we don't really go far in many professions. We're not given the chance. So, yes, Valeris. She normally hands me tidbits of information with reference to important people coming in or things that are happening so that myself and Rekka can utilize the moment or lift anchor, and bugger off for a few days.
Very good. I like it. So you open the door. She says, "Are you inviting me in?"
Are you a vampire?
Not today.
Why do you need to ask?
Fair
I
enough.
should know exactly where the key is as well.
She pushes past you.
And I look at her pocket.
Absolutely. She pushes past you, pushing you backwards against the wall as she does so with her backside.
That type of call, is it?
And she wanders in, and then she ruffles Wrecker's hair and sits down at your seat and takes a bite of your food. Not bad. Wrecker make this?
No, said
Yep.
it did.
Oh, you did. Well, very good.
The cat or
The cat.
No furballs in here. So, you guys been doing well? She leans back and crosses her legs, and she seems to be leading somewhere with this discussion. This isn't just a social call.
I look at Wreck-It and I kind of exhale. I try and imitate she knows. And I say, honestly, there's only so much carrot and potato that we can stretch out. We've done okay, but we haven't made our mark yet. It's slow going. The blue coats are being a bit difficult.
I understand.
You've got something in. Oh, Wreck-It really does like pussy.
He's never turned it down. Yes. So she says, I do. She says, I'm currently have done some work for Lord Delvar over in White Tower.
Why would you want to?
He has a couple of ships under his command as far as hunting down the demon blood. Wealthy, well connected, but Lord Delvar has a particular desire, and he needs a golden key to satisfy it. And I think, from what I'm hearing, though it's not your typical area of work, it's at least your typical area of play. Here's the deal. She leans forward.
I lick my lips.
She says, for a nice amount of coin, Lord Delvar is very happy if you would go to, in Silkshore, a particular home called the Keyhole. Okay? It's a hotel, off the beaten path a tad, and it takes a invitation usually to get in the door, and serious coin to have the exotic cocktails and meals served at his bar and burlesque theater. And it takes even more than that to be granted one of the golden keys that unlock the golden collars on the hosts and hostesses that are working there against their will. So there is a key that is desired. There's a new hostess by the name of Vivienne. She, I must say, is Taikarosi, and incredibly popular. However, my lord has not had his chance to partake of that particular pleasure, and is willing to pay a serious fee to walk in smiling and twirling that particular golden key. Are you interested?
Depends on the fee. Wrecker doesn't get out of bed for anything less than. And I wait.
Less than?
10 coins.
What? Okay, and she starts to stand up. Look, I understand. I'm giving you an opportunity. It's great. Look, I'm sure that the Lord Delvar will not go anywhere above 3 coin, if that. Come, it's fine. I'm sure there are other groups I could go to.
We
I'm
can
sure
do
you
a
don't need
job
coin.
in the docks for 2 coin.
We are friends. I'm not screwing you here, guys.
What cut are you taking?
Well, I might wind up with a coin out of this. Who knows? Well, what if we said 4? Would that be more?
If we said 4, we took 3 coins, you took 1.
Oh, no.
We could,
I get my fee elsewhere. All of it would be yours.
you said you took a coin.
I will, but it's not from you. It's from the Lord himself for finding you.
Yes. What I'm proposing
Okay.
is that we ask for 8 coins. We give you 1 coin. The Lord gives you a coin.
I see.
And then we take the 7.
Huh. I like your thought. I really do like your thought. She leans back and she runs her hand through her pale blonde hair. She says, how about we move that down to the range of 6? That way I can actually sell this. I'm not going to be able to sell 8. There's no way. I mean, he can walk in there and make the payments for that and be fine. But he wants to show off a little bit. So if we can get it at 6, he's not losing any big money on the deal, and he still gets to look like a hero.
We've dropped, so you want us to drop about 40%?
It is what it is.
Well, would you also drop your share to half a coin? From us.
How about this?
We've spent a lot of coin paying off certain factions recently.
How about we say 6, and I'll take 1 off the top. We'll say 7. I'll take 1 off the top. You guys get 6. How's that? That seems just about as close as we can possibly cut this to the bone.
Let's go with that.
She looks over at Set It just to see, and then she runs her hand over the weirdly scaled head of that scaled cat that you've got. As a DM, it sort of makes me feel like it's really gross. However, she doesn't seem to mind.
It's just like fussing a snake.
Very good.
Armadillo.
So,
on the inside, crunchy on the outside.
Very, very interesting. What I'd like to do is I'm going to bring up
okay.
a little thing here. I'm just going to, okay, I'm not going to do that because I was messing up once again. And I think I have brought up Silkshore.
You have.
So I will say roughly, you can see the docks are up here, right?
Yep.
I'm going to say that the building itself is tucked away right about here. Okay?
Yeah.
You can see that there are numerous, if you were to zoom in, you can see that there are lots of canals here. Correct? And we're going to say that it's this house right here.
Right here.
Yep. That is the keyhole.
This house here.
Yes. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a 2-minute break because I've got to hit the restroom. And then we're going to come back and we're going to get ready to make the engagement roll of this whole thing. Which means you have no time to plan because that's how this game works. It's awesome. All right. I will come back to this in just a second.
Where's the eraser button?
There's no eraser button. You have to click on it and then you can highlight it and get rid of it. You click the corner or something.
I remember. That's 3 coins each.
Yeah. It's always worth passing.
You guys ready? Felix? Okay. All right, we're back, everyone, and we're just about to start the heist. Are they going to get the golden key? Are they going to fall into the undead-infested waters? What is going to happen to these guys? Should be very fascinating to see how they choose to play this out. This game starts with a simple roll and set of questions to start the heist, and it just goes from there, and it's a surprise for the GM almost as much as it is the players. So here we go. All right, folks. So what we're going to do is we're going to get down towards making this roll. What I'm going to let you ask a couple more questions of Valeris, if you would like, and then we're going to move right into the action. So the last part of this scene is you're sitting at the table with Sedit, who has had to move away from her bowl of stew, of eel stew, and is watching as Valeris, with a sort of smug look in her eyes, is looking her over as she puts down the stew, sitting opposite Wrecker. Are there any last little questions you'd like to ask before we move right into the heist?
Where's this key located? What,
Oh, the key? The golden key?
Yep.
Well, that's interesting. What we think is that the madam has it. Either that or she keeps them in a lockbox behind the bar. We're not really sure. It always seems to be that when someone asks for a key, she goes to their table and provides it, but we're not sure where she gets it from.
And this house, this building, it's a hotel, isn't it?
Well, it's not a hotel anymore, if you know what I mean. But it is 3 or 4 floors of rooms.
Is it on stilts?
No.
On the water, or is it?
It's
on
on.
land?
It's on ground. It is on the ground.
It's on the ground.
So there are little islandy pieces there that they have that in between.
The key itself. Can you? Do you know what it looks like?
Size of your palm. Gold. Old skeleton-y key-looking thing. The collars that are worn by the folks working there have a elaborate lock across the front. And once that is popped, they are no longer under the control of the madam completely, as they are prior. They instead fall under the control of the owner of the key, current owner. It's a strange magical setup that is definitely, in my mind, pretty dang wrong. However, my patron wants some. Yes?
So what does the golden key command?
It commands the particular golden collar of the assigned escort. Hostess. Host.
And who is that?
So, my lord particularly is seeking the key to the brand new hostess, Vivienne, who is a Taikarosi with a very interesting feature. He didn't elaborate upon that, but evidently it's something that's highly prized.
Aren't we all, darling? Aren't we all?
All right, we're moving to the engagement roll. We're done with all this. So here's how this is going to work. You guys get a base 1d6. However, we're going to ask a couple of questions to see if you might get a little edge on this whole thing.
Okay.
Is this operation particularly bold or daring? What do you guys think? Can you argue that this might be bold or daring?
I would say it would be a bold move.
In what way?
Well, bold and daring, if I have my way.
Oh?
So bold because of the fact that we're going into an area that we really don't normally operate in. So the who's, the why's, the wherefores,
Very
we're
good.
not actually familiar with. The daring because I'm going to release the lady from the golden collar and put it round the madam.
So we'll get to that.
So when the Duke comes in with his key, he doesn't have the lady that he was expecting.
So what I will say is, I'm going to get on this. There's going to be a 1 extra die for this being bold and daring and out of your league in some ways. The next question is whether the plan's detail exposes a vulnerability of the target or hits them where they're weakest. I'm going to discount that offhand because of partially of what you said before about this being out of your area. However, the next one says your friends or contacts provide aid or insight, and I'm going to say that you get a dice for that. So you are now up a dice. Your target... I'm sorry?
We do know the area, so we are familiar in this area.
Absolutely.
So,
though it's not your main hunting grounds, but yes. And you do know that from your vice. I hear that, but I'm going to still leave you at 3 dice as we move forward. Is this operation going to be overly complex and contentious and contingent on many factors? What do you think?
But it depends on how we approach it, because if we
Okay.
if we go in all guns blazing, then
Okay, I've screwed this up slightly. I was supposed to first do this. So, you guys need to tell me which plan you are taking. And there are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? You are either assault, deception, stealth, occult, social, or transport. Which means are you going after this?
I think stealth on this particular one.
possibly.
Like we do most of our heists.
No, think. That's what you'd like.
You know.
So the
What do you
intention
think,
would be.
Wrecker? I mean, we could always just blow the building up and then search the rubble for the golden key.
That's an option. That is an option. I think we should either, well, for me, I'd rather use wrecking or finesse and tinkering. If we use finesse and tinkering, then we're going to have to be going in as, we're going to have to be using subterfusion.
Okay.
But
So are you going to do assault, deception, stealth, occult, social, or transport?
stealth or deception, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Deception is to lure, trick, and manipulate. Stealth is to trespass unseen.
More like a stealth mission then.
Okay. So you have chosen. Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Here's a thought.
Yeah. Neither of us really have any stealthy
Okay.
attributes, though, do we?
So fair enough. So would you prefer to go in a different way? So is it deception? So basically, you guys tell me which of those you do. I ask you one question. We determine the dice, we roll, and we start. So just give me...
let's go stealth. Let's go stealth.
So
yeah, we'll go stealth.
My question is, what is your point of infiltration? So it is a house. It's sitting, as we saw, on the water on multiple sides. It does have an electrified fence around it, and it is multi-storied.
We don't, when we say stealth, that doesn't mean going in all hidden.
Fair enough.
We can hide the reason why we're going in.
That's fine. That's fine.
But we can go in openly.
Okay.
Go in,
so is your point of infiltration the front door?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've answered all I need. So let's move from there. So we've determined you had 3 dice, and now I'm asking if enemy rivals interfere. So you're actually going to wind up losing 1 die, and I'm not going to tell you exactly why yet. And you are going to roll those 2 die. And what I'm going to let you do is over here where you've got the 20-sided die shown, I want you to go down to D6 and where it says 2 and click on that, one of you 2. I don't care which one. And we're going to see those 2 die roll, and we're going to find out how good you're set up for this.
Go on, Rob.
You sure?
Okay. Well, look at that. So, you start out in a desperate situation when the action starts. Very good. So,
that's what we like.
How are you guys? You walk up to the front door. Actually, how do you get there overall? I just really quickly.
Take the boat, moor it up, and walk across.
Fair enough.
We can, moor up on.
I'm going to say, your boat's a little bit big for a lot of these little canals. So you moor up over there and head across.
Yeah.
And you see the house ahead of you. It is brightly lit. It appears that for some reason tonight is a little bit more popular than you were expecting. and it is packed, which could be good or bad. And you get to the front door, and as you pass the crackling energy of the electrical fence, you're let in by a heavy Severosi guard with a pike. He ushers you in with a nod of his head, and the two of you wander towards the front door. And directly in front of you, and let me make sure I say this correctly.
I've got a plan.
There's I want to say you recognize somebody. Said it from your law enforcement time. It's Magistrate Nog. He will know you on sight if he turns around and sees you. Okay. So what I'm asking now is, what do you guys? He goes in. You guys are safe immediately from him, but you're not 100% safe. And the lady at the front door asks for your invitation. What do you guys do? Yep.
Well,
what? Yep.
The magistrate walked past us first. Is that right?
No. You were behind him as
Okay.
he gave his invitation and went in.
Is he with anyone?
No. Most people don't come with people here.
Is he has that action actually happened already? Can I reverse back time?
Nope,
like
you may not.
A few seconds.
Nope, you may not. He's through, but I like the idea.
Okay.
Saw where you're going.
So what we're going to try and do is maybe, can we pickpocket someone's invitation that's going in?
You are the next in. I'm sorry. It's a desperate situation. You're standing in front of the lady. However, you do happen to have some things in your... Oh! What is your loadout?
Loadout is...
If you're walking in the front door, it's probably going to be light. I just have to say.
Yeah.
Okay. So, if you look at your characters, and shame on me for not having already asked you, you have a loadout. The items that you have on your character sheet that are in the dark color, you have. You just have. Okay? And now you're not going to pull them out unless you click the thing and say that you've got it. But I think you'll see that you even have documents, and you have...
Yes. Okay.
Interesting. So
these are documents that we forged earlier.
I will take a flashback if one of you wishes to go back and tell me about how you did this, how you obtained what you needed to do for this. And a flashback in this game is how we overcome the idea that we don't start planning, we just start the game, and then we go backwards for planning. So, for a measly cost of probably 2 stress, though it might be less, it might be more, depending on how complicated everything is, you can do a flashback for me and show me how you got what you needed to make this forged document. I'm excited to hear it.
Well, it's a two-pronged thing. So basically,
who is taking the stress for this? I want to know first.
But I'll take the stress.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. Actually, I think we should actually share it, but I'll take the stress.
Okay.
So I use my consort resolve, and after we negotiated the costs.
I'm sorry. So one more time, you're using your what?
I'm using my consort.
Okay. So you don't necessarily have to do a roll yet. So, just tell me what you want to do, and I'll tell you if it needs a roll.
So after Valeris settled on the coins, okay,
yes,
we asked other pertinent questions like who else would be going, namely individuals from Bright Stone.
Absolutely, an area you know well.
Then, because of the fact that we've got good standing in Brightstone, because we are upholding the citizens of
well played.
Brightstone.
Well played.
I went and spoke with one of the people, the lady of the house.
Oh, which house? Give me a name.
The Bertrams.
Bertrams.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Mrs. Bertram.
Ooh.
Her husband works in finance for the Duke's.
Fair enough.
Estate thing.
Very good.
And so I asked, and I saw it, and I've tried to commit it as much to memory as possible. Came back to Rekka, and down in our workshop, I drew out as much of the detail as I can, describing.
Okay. Now I've got to roll.
The edges and
perfect. That's fine. So, what do you want to roll to make this happen?
A D100.
No. So you pick in this game what you want to roll. I will then tell you how it happens.
So, I mean, I've got.
So you're a couple of things here. One, it could be a study type thing, or it could be something from that because of or it could be something to do with your social ability with the lady, or it could be something. You tell me what you're doing to take that knowledge from there and then to where it needs to be turned into a particular creation. Forgery.
Would it not be tinkering or something? Or what action are you talking about? Just
I really don't care. It's the whole thing. You tell me.
So it would be the tinkering then from
fair enough.
I think from Rekka to actually make it.
So what I'll do is I'll assume then that your memory is really pretty darn good on this. And it comes down to the ability of Wrecker to use what he has available to tinker together this particular document. Okay?
Yeah.
So, here's what happens. We move back to the present time as you hand the document to the lady. And Wrecker, I would like you to make your tinker roll, but I'm going to give you an extra dice for your tools. Okay?
Okay. What about chemicals?
What you're going to do is on your character sheet, you're going to click the word tinker. Okay? And sadly, as this is your first attempt, this is a desperate situation. And the success will be standard. If you succeed, you'll accept it. And you get 1 bonus dice. Okay? I wish those of you who are watching could see exactly how that plays out on the screen. Look at this. So, we have a 5 as our solution. So, a 6 was total success. A double 6 would have been critical. A 5 and a 4 are a success with a consequence. And a 3, a 1, 2, 3 would have been a failure. Our team got a 5. So here's what happens. You hand across the document, and it's the invitation, and the lady says, very well. I see. Mr. and Mrs. Give me a name.
Bartholomew.
Bartholomew? Mr. and Mrs. Bartholomew. Wonderful. Oh, and by the way, your good friend, the magistrate, just walked through. We'll make sure to let him know that you're here.
Yes, please do.
I'll look for a run. I'll look for a runner to go hunt him down. So, just a minute. Here's what we're gonna do.
I think he's just gone through. I think
Yeah. Here's
there.
God bless. Here's what we're gonna do. And I love this because it's a really neat thing that goes on in this game. And I'm gonna make it interesting. So ignore the faction information on this sheet because it was for someone else. However, the clock that's down here, and let me zoom this in. So this clock is the one that is open right now. And this clock is for whether, as soon as they notify this person that knows you. Okay? So, right now, it has one pie piece in it. However, that's going to go up over the next little bit, depending on your actions, and may lead to a confrontation that could turn very interesting. So we've got we have a clock started, and the clock is that excuse me, let me look really quick, is that Magistrate Nog is alerted to friends and will seek them out.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So I understand the dynamics of that, but I'd like to try and stop that from happening in the first place.
Oh, and tell me how. Tell me how.
So, sorry, just get my character back up. It's a bit of a long shot, but I don't think it'll cause any problem. But I've got sway.
Oh, okay.
I've got one dice in sway, which is charm, deception, disguise, bluff, that kind of thing.
Very good.
So I'm going to lead over to the doorman, or the
door lady. Yes.
Lady, and say thank you very much for your for helping out with that. But we can see him, and we'll find him ourselves, because that's who we really came here to meet tonight anyway.
Very.
There's no need to tell him. But we will get him ourselves.
I enjoy it. I like it. Make your roll.
Yeah.
By the way, is there any way, said it, that you can help in this roll? If you want to take a 1 point of stress, you might give him an extra dice if you can tell me exactly how you would help him. Is that it?
I don't think I can help.
Fair enough. Make your roll.
Well, that could have helped, because.
Do you want to push? Do you want to put Felix? You can push. Remember, you can spend some of your stress to get an extra dice. Right? It's on your character sheet. It shows you how to do it.
How much stress does it cost to roll an extra dice?
So if you look at your character sheet, there's a place where it says. Oh, come on. I'm trying to remember where it is on your character sheet that it talks about. Push yourself. Take 2 stress, and you'll get an extra dice. Or you can accept a devil's bargain and get an extra dice. Would you like to hear a devil's bargain?
I can hear it, but I don't have to accept it.
No, you do not. If you want an extra dice, I will say that even though Magistrate Nog doesn't come to you, he will see you through the crowd and recognize you as being attendant at the party.
What would be wrong about being recognized by the magistrate?
I don't know. Could it possibly be that if something goes wrong tonight, that maybe your names might be involved?
Okay.
So the heat could go up.
You don't know.
So my understanding is we either take the devil's bargain, which you just explained, or I might be able to help with a survey.
You might be able to help and provide. You would take 1 stress, and he would get an extra dice. He can push himself.
I'll take the 1 stress.
Okay, tell me how you help. Otherwise,
okay, so Rob, what else do you have under resolve?
I've got consort, which won't really do anything unless I've got connections.
You're not having to roll. Just tell me how you're helping.
Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to survey the room. I'm going to survey the room. I'm going to survey the body language of of the young lady that at the door.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm going to take the stress to give Rekka some subtle clues, or I whisper into his ear,
Okay.
just so that it's low enough that only he can hear.
Very good.
About the body language and about how things are set up inside the room itself.
The camera zooms in tightly as you lean in to whisper to Wrecker. And you can see the movement of your lips, and the audio is just loud enough to hear exactly what you say over the ruckus inside. What do you say to Wrecker?
By the look of it, there's not much going on inside the actual room. However, I don't think it will take much to spook them. Body language is that she seems relaxed and carefree, but I don't think that's actually the case. So whatever you tell her, make sure it's good and plausible.
Okay, so what I'm going to do with that is you pause before you speak to take that in about the faking the carefree, and you go ahead and add an extra dice to your roll and tell me what you say to her as you roll.
So all I'm trying to do is this isn't anything complicated. All I'm trying to do is
I want the words. I want the words.
The words.
The camera wants the words. What do you say to this lady?
What I'm going to say is, you seem to have a busy night tonight. Don't worry with that. We're that's straight. That's the first person that we plan to speak to after we get a drink.
Very good. Make your roll. I like it. I like it.
So this is a desperate again?
No, it's not desperate. What I'm going to say with what you did, this is actually, I'm going to give you a controlled position. And I'm going to say it's going to have great effect. Okay? So let's see what happens. Let us see what happens. And I'm going to, by the way, move you back to the Dusk of All Detail. However, we may...
No.
Oh, he gets the 6. That is absolutely a full success. And by the way, if you had effed that up, your clock would have moved up. Yeah. And you sail into the parlor. Okay. The parlor is the full bottom floor of this old hotel. It has...
How many...
Go ahead.
How many people are available here?
Probably 250.
Oh shit! Okay, my plan may not work.
There are pillars. There's a bar. There's a lot of seating area against the edges. There's a dance floor that is instead of the carpet is wood, and wood's mostly old around here or very expensive because trees just don't exist. And on the dance floor are numerous of the escorts who are dancing singularly, though sometimes people walk up to them and chat. You see that some of the people that go and chat to the hosts and hostesses then go to the bar where there is a imposing lady behind the bar, probably 6'2", maybe 240. And Felix, you can do the translation to stone and meters if you don't mind. And this lady is Dagger Isles, if you've ever seen it. She's got a dusky complexion and is got that stance about her that you recognize, by the way, Wrecker, from your Dagger Isles background. And when they walk up to her, she opens a lockbox behind the bar, and she has a key on herself that she opens the lockbox with. And there are keys, golden keys, dangling in that box. She quickly pulls one out, shuts it, locks it, hands it to the person who has just given her a load of coin. They take it over to the dance floor, open the lock on the neck of one of the hostesses or hosts, and fairly rapidly they take off for the grand double staircase that leads up.
What colour was that key?
Gold, as all of them were.
Okay.
And you see, standing in the middle of the dance floor, a Taikarosi, and I say it because you know it. This female is striking. But she has a feathered tail that opens like a peacock's and is stunning. And there are plenty of petitioners. What do you guys do?
Okay, we need to chat first. What's our main plan here? Because there are lots of keys, they're all golden. Did you want to take the specific key for the woman that we've been planned to send?
That was the ask.
Yeah,
the ask is for the key for that particular hostess. Yes.
But the key controls a necklace, you said.
Yes.
So, but you can put that necklace on anyone.
So probably there is some way that the lady behind the bar knows which key goes with which necklace. Fair enough.
So would the count recognize the key and pay any key or?
So that is an interesting question. You could take any key. You might be paid, and you might well put your contact in hot water.
Yeah, not happy with that.
Well, our contact has asked us to become sex trafficker, basically.
Hey, well, it is what it is, criminals.
Yeah, it just depends on where your morals stand. Because earlier you seemed to be questioning it. I don't know how you want to play it, Rob.
So you guys are standing, 3 or 4 feet inside the door, trying to decide what your next move is, and you're chatting quietly to yourself. You see Magistrate Nog has moved to the bar and is getting a drink. Okay.
I'm just talking to Rob. So
yes,
one of my plans
said
initially. Sorry.
Said it. Do you have your cat inside? Said it.
That would cause quite a stir, wouldn't it?
So it might at least draw attention.
I think, being quite honest, I would have.
Where is? Okay. Where is Set?
She would be patrolling around the boat and the harbour area, trying to find large rats to consume and things like that.
Fair enough.
My mind link, it doesn't say anything about a distance.
Nope, so I'm fine with it. Nope, I'm fine.
And as it's a cat, it can move quite quickly.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, so knowing full well that this is going to be, and then when we came through the front door, no chance that I would bring a cat in with me.
Okay. Well, at least not a cat quite like that. Yeah. Fair enough. So that's fine. You have absolute contact. The boat is not being molested, and you get a vivid mental image, and not one that you particularly enjoy, of the jaws clamping on a rat and the gush of blood. And then you quickly withdraw from that because it makes your gorge rise, and we move on. Okay.
So, I agree with Rekka. We need to have a few moments to recompose, ready for the next camera set,
Very
so
good.
that we know quite what we're doing. So I don't know. I don't
We're
know.
just at the bar, and we want to come up with some planning here, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Rob?
So, I'm thinking.
My initial thought was that we could, because I could have helped. We can't just start shooting things. One of my theories was to poison people, or not, to drug them.
Do you
necessarily
want to
kill them.
do a?
Can I just talk
Would
to
you
Rob?
like a flashback?
No.
Okay, fair enough. I'm just asking.
I talk to
Well,
Rob.
My job is to make
if
you
we
run out
ever-
of stress
if
and
we-
We
die.
haven't come up with a plan as yet. So one of my thoughts was, if there are a few people, we could drug them and then get away with just taking it. But there's too many people here. Unless you wanted to do a smaller drugging elsewhere.
Do you happen
That's not
to? I mean, you always, if you think about the stuff that's available to you because of your light load. I'm clicking on light load for you there, Felix. You know, you do have that. Don't you have a bandolier of alchemicals? That's always available.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay.
But I'm not doing that now, and that's not what I want to do.
Okay.
I just want to discuss with Rob how we're going to go forward.
Okay.
So, Rob, so it depends on where your morals are here. If you want to, if she may actually be happy to go off with the count because it's good money. She may not want to be. She may agree to it, but she may not. And if she doesn't, then do you still want to do it? And if you don't want to, then we've got the option of a switcheroo here. That's what I was.
There's also the thought that you might be able to pick the lock. Just like to throw out some problems for you.
Yeah, we've got picks. We can try and do that. It's just whether or not we're handing this woman over. Once we've got over that moral dilemma,
yes,
we can then decide how we're going to do it.
Very, very good. So that's wonderful. Keep after it. Keep your thoughts. What are you thinking?
Okay, so I'm thinking.
Ooh, look at that.
I'm thinking, right. So, in answer to Felix's question, okay, we would need to speak to the peacock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
If she's happy with this life, then fine. However, if she's not happy with it, there's every chance that she will blab about the fact that a rescuer is going to come, etc., etc. Now, if we release her, then we put the payment is going to go skew with. Valeris is going to get into trouble, and her reputation with the Count may be affected. Honestly, I think although it pushes my buttons that my kind will be treated in this way.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that this is a job for another night where we release her. For now, the job is get the right key, hand it over, get paid, come back, release her by whatever means. And this won't be going through the front door with an invitation. This will be going through one of the windows, and everybody else will be chucked out the windows.
A tall man wearing a top hat indoors, which is absolutely gauche, walks onto the dance floor directly to the lady with the beautiful peacock feathers that are spread beautifully. And he leans in to talk to her. You recognize him as being one of the gang leaders of the Lamp Blacks. And the Lamp Blacks are the former lamplighters who, when that job went away, have turned their entire group to organized crime. You suspect deep down that perhaps that Lord Delvar might have hedged his bets. What do you guys do?
Fuck it.
I think
Everyone.
You can't drug 250 of them in the punch. It's not going to work.
Okay, have you got any demolitions that you can place around places and we'll call in a bomb threat?
So listen, my feeling is...
Remember, you guys can do flashbacks. Yeah. You can do all sorts of good stuff. It's amazing. Go ahead.
My feeling is that you can't chop and choose here because there's a moral dilemma here. You can't say, well, we'll haul her out for another day and then we'll rescue her later.
Ah.
We either do it or we don't. And my feeling is that we base that depending on what she feels.
So, may I ask a quick question? May I ask a quick question?
You're interrupting.
I am. I want to know the quick question, which is, the two of you, what is your vice?
Pleasure.
Ah, just wondering. Go ahead.
Pleasure doesn't have to be whorehouses, does it? It could be.
It could be other things.
Other pleasures, yeah. So what I'm saying, Rob, is my feeling is that she may prefer a life with the Count. She may want to escape, or she may not. But if we give her that choice, then we can make a move from there.
Okay. So what do you guys do? What is your action right now?
I would like to go up. I'd like for one of us to go up to her and speak to her and ask her
what is your desired outcome of the discussion?
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'd like to go up to her when the other faction isn't around.
Okay. So the man with the top hat
and say,
go ahead. Fair enough.
What I'd like to do is wait until the man with the top hat is at a bit of a distance, and I'd like to go up to her and say, it's come to my attention. You don't know me, but it's come to my attention that.
So wait, let's pause there because I want to hear that said directly to her. So the camera has followed you guys as you've looked at these different events at the bar, the keys, at the dance floor, and then the display of the peacock feathers takes a lot of camera time because it's a phenomenal event. And then that desperately dangerous looking man in the top hat, tall, skinny, walks up and talks. And you can see that there are a couple of others that seem to be following his cue in the crowd as the camera sort of pans around. And it pans back to you as you are finishing your discussion. And then you see that the man with the top hat starts walking towards the bar directly.
Okay, so me and Rob haven't really had a conversation yet.
Okay, finish your conversation. And it'll be as this person starts to leave and walk across.
Okay. What's your feeling, Rob?
Rob?
My feeling is get paid.
Get paid.
Yeah.
Okay.
We unfortunately.
Well, let's just do in that case. Let's not give her a choice. We can make that decision later whether or not you want to carry through with it. We can have that discussion later. Let's just get the key.
Okay. So the man with the top hat is walking towards the bar. You have a sneaking suspicion he's going for the key. What do you guys do?
Let him get it.
What an interesting concept. So as you guys hang back, we see him walk to the bar. He leans into the madam and over the loud noise of all the people inside who are drinking and having fun. And there's a band in the far corner who is playing just incessantly, that's drowning out most things. You see him point his thumb back over his shoulder at the lady with the peacock feathers, who is doing a seductive, slithery dance. And the lady goes, "Whoa!" And you can see her tapping her hand. And the man with the top hat pulls out a freaking bulging bag of silver coins and sits it onto the bar. The lady looks at him and looks back and forth. You see her eye across to probably some bouncers, some I would say some Severosi that are pretty big dudes that have clubs at their sides, and they sort of nod at her as she moves to take the coins and put them behind the bar. She leans back and she turns around and she opens up carefully the box with the keys, and she pulls down one right off the top right of the box, and she slips it across. It has a ribbon attached to it, and it's a red ribbon. And he palms it and heads back across the dance floor towards the peacock tail feathered lady. What do you do?
Wait.
Wait. Fair enough.
Yep.
He approaches.
Behind the bar.
He approaches.
I'd like to, whilst we're waiting.
Oh, you guys have both gotten really quiet. I'm not sure quite why.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay, so I'm going to be just nonchalant and asking for another drink. But what I am going to do is I'm going to request Thedit to make her way over, but keeping to the shadows.
Very good. Said it's on her way. She will be to the building momentarily.
Okay.
Whilst this is happening, can you hear me?
You guys both got really quiet in a hurry. I don't know if it's because I turned on my volume by accident. Go ahead.
Maybe.
Okay, that's probably what it is. Here we go.
Felix?
So, what are you doing?
At the moment, I think Felix is... Yeah, we can hear you, Felix.
Sure.
Yes.
So whilst he's doing that, I'd like to create... Actually, I don't need to do that, do I? I was going to try and create a distraction, a gadget that would distract people, like a small explosion or something.
Is that what you want to do?
I don't want to set it off, but I don't have to do that now, do I? I can just say I've got it.
Can we have a flashback?
Absolutely. I would. So two things. Let's really quick look at Felix's character.
I'm going to have to go. I'm going to have to call it quits in about 20 minutes.
Okay. Well, so we've got to get there in a hurry. So you got. Yeah, you could probably have something, a gadget that blows up. I see the gadget on there. Okay, flashback. Tell me what you want to do.
Okay, so whilst we're in the boat, after we've made the invitations, we're discussing different scenarios and what have you. And one of the scenarios that we discussed was, should someone come along and try to get the lady in question in the golden collar, we let them get it, buy them a drink at the bar, slip in a sleeping tonic, of some sort. Okay, so basically, Reckon needs to make a strong sleeping tonic.
Fair enough.
As well as a distraction to cause a little bit of furore. That way, we can try and then, in the confusion, either pickpocket or just blackjack the guy, and then swipe the key.
Wonderful. That's a 3 stress. And what I'm going to want, Felix's character to do. Sorry, just space. I need you to make the roll to make that tonic. What are you going to roll?
So that's going to be tinker.
Tinkering.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we flash back to the future as
I'm going to use my Randolier of alchemy.
So we'll give you a +1 dice for the tools, and that's that. So what happens is, we flash forward to when the man walks across with the hat, At the bar, already waiting, because they knew this was going to happen, is Wrecker. And the man orders 2 drinks, and you tip yours into the one you think, or both, or what do you do? He's not paying attention. I want what I want now is a roll. You can either make it for the subtlety of what you're doing, or you can make it for the strength of your whatever. I don't care. I just need a roll at this point.
So I'm doing tinkering.
Tinkering, perfect.
Tinkering is to make. I would do tinkering to make the sleeping draught.
Wonderful. There's no double jeopardy. So tinkering works for what you're doing. So you can roll your tinker roll to see exactly how well you did to make them. What is the intent? What is the intention of the elixir?
The intention of the elixir is twofold.
Okay.
So one of them is to make him. It's a very strong diuretic. It's going to make him want to go to the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Once he's emptied his bladder, his blood pressure will drop.
Okay.
And he will just fall to a stupor to the floor.
Very good.
I'm doing it under controlled measures because I've planned this and I've done it in my work.
You don't tell me that, but I will give you that.
That's what I'm thinking.
I will give you that, and that's fair enough. Controlled, and I will give you great effect if you do it. What are your dice? You get an extra dice for your tools.
And a bonus dice. Yeah.
Let us see. Well done. Okay. So, he walks away from the bar. He gets up to the lady with the peacock feathers. And even better, they head up the stairs. He has unlocked her collar and controls her with the key. And as he gets up to the first floor, and you guys have moved out to where you can see, he goes, oh, you can see him straighten up, and he heads, pause, and she stays at the top of the stairs. He heads down the stairs and across the room to the toilets. What do you guys do?
Yeah.
We need to split up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which way are you going? You take the lady, I'll take the key.
Okay.
I was going to take the key and you take the...
Okay. All right.
Because my prowl is...
Okay.
My prowl is a lot better than yours is, so...
So prowl may not be too much of it may be part of a problem. We'll see how this plays out. So, in the spirit of time, Wrecker, you step up to the stairs and sort of keep things calm. You see 1 or 2 other couples come up the stairs as you see Sedit moving across the room, following the man in the top hat towards Jake's. You do see that the other members that you quasi-recognize from the Lamp Blacks sort of do a zone defense in that, one of them wanders over there towards the toilets as well. And one sort of wanders towards the bottom of the stairs. Okay? Meanwhile, you see that your compatriot has clocked the fact that there's a Lamp Black coming his way and knows that the toilet's right ahead of him. He will have probably a minute and a half in the toilet before he gets anyone coming in as well. Rob?
Yep.
Said it?
Yep.
Okay, you enter the toilet. Yep. You see a man prostrate in front of a urinal, pissing on himself. I mean, it's fountaining in the air.
Top hat?
Yep.
Okay, in that case, I take out my kosh or my blackjack.
Mm-hmm.
And I strike him over the back of the head.
Oh, he's already out, but that's fine. He's even more out. And you get within seconds you can search, and you've got the key.
Yep. Have I got the collar?
It's hot in your hand. You have the collar as well. Yes, you do. That was in his inside pocket. You hear a door creak behind you. You think
Okay.
it's probably the other guy.
I hide behind the door,
Okay.
and when he comes in, I sneak out.
Here comes your roll that you were just talking about.
Yep.
Let's see that. And we're going to do this as a risky situation with standard effect.
Okay. So can I add, because I know what my D6s are rolling like, can I push?
Yes, you may. Take 2 stress.
2 stress.
Or would you like a devil's bargain?
What's the devil's bargain?
So you think that as you were smacking the guy and messing with him and his eyes were rolling around, maybe he recognized you before you knocked him out. Would you like that bargain? Maybe some complications with the lamp blacks? Or do you want 2 stress? Fair enough. 2 stress. Fair enough. We'll get you to. Oh, look at this!
My lord.
Unbelievable.
So that's
Okay,
the best.
you've got this. You've got that. You slip out the door. No one's the wiser. You make it all the way to the stairs. You are standing there with Wrecker and the lady. And there were maybe some more good things that happened because that's an amazing roll. Let's go.
Right.
What do you guys do?
Let's get the fuck out of here.
What are you going to do? How's that done?
Can we control her now with the key? How does that work?
You have the key. She is going to have to do the things you tell her to do. Yes.
Okay. So we're going to go outside. We're going to go outside.
How?
Come and have a look at my pussy.
Are you going to go? Are you going to try and go through the front door, knowing that they keep these ladies here against their will? That when the lady with the peacock feathers walking through the room will probably draw every eye.
Okay, so we go out a window.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. So you are now on the first. Okay, so we, as the U.S. would say, you're on the first floor. No, you're on the second floor. As the UK would say, you're on the first floor. So you have rounded the stairs, and there's a window at the end of the hall, and then there are multiple doors to rooms. It looks like the window at the end of the hall is just big enough to squeeze out.
I asked the woman, is there a window in your room?
I don't have a room. I go to the room you tell me. Her voice is just as sultry and husky as you could possibly imagine.
Let's go to the room on the... You don't have a ground floor in the States.
No, we don't. You're on the first floor. Ground floor is below. You're on the UK first floor, US second floor.
Well, pick a room that's kind of like in a corner, so hopefully we can...
Okay, so you move down across, and there's a room at the corner. You open it, and it has 2 windows because it's a corner. One of them is towards probably the closest towards where your ship is. And they're easily big enough to climb out of. Okay. What do you guys do?
Check for alarm.
Ah, well done. So what I'll say on this is, looking around, neither of you sees an alarm. Okay? So what roll do you give me to exit the window and get to the ground and also avoid alarms? I want to know.
Proud.
And by the way, this can be a joint move where one of you is leading and one of you is following. This can be a move where one of you is going and the other is supporting. But then that one will have... So this is a group... Actually, this is a group move. So one of you is going to lead and the other one is following. So one person will roll the dice for whatever skill is chosen. The other person will roll the dice as well. If they succeed, you get an extra dice. If they fail, you get extra stress.
Okay. So what I would like to do, or
Okay.
know if possible, is if I use the my burglary tools.
Oh, okay. What about
Okay,
climbing tools? Does
if-
anyone have those? Okay, good, good.
Might be in the well. I've got climbing gear. I can take 3 things, can't I?
Yes. Some of them
okay.
cost more.
Climbing gear. There you go. So burglary gear, climbing gear. Okay. So basically, what I want to do is I want to open the window.
Okay.
Make sure that there's no alarm system on there. Open the window if there's not.
Okay.
Secure something with an easy flip type rope.
Very good.
Okay. And then I would like Wreck-It to put his the planned explosion device up
Ooh.
on there for it to go off.
So
it looks like somebody's just shot or blew the window open. And then that will cause havoc, and we then slip out around the side with.
Very good. Okay, so I'm not going to cause any extra cost for flashback because I think Wreck-It said he wanted to knock out and make it explosive, all in one shot. So that's the case. Very good.
Okay.
So carry on.
Let's not set off an explosion until we're out of the way.
Fair enough.
But at the same time, I've got supplies as well.
Yes.
I've got some subterfuge supplies.
Okay.
Which includes some costume and so forth.
Yes.
Costume, jewelry, reversible cloak, and distinctive hats and so forth. Force badges.
So is that a 2 or is that a 1 for your carry?
That's a 1.
Okay. If you want to mark that, feel free. You can use that.
So I think we need to try and alter our appearance, and one of the main things is to hide this peacock tail.
So what we're going to do is first there's going to be a roll to get the heck out. Yeah. And then we're going to use your... Actually, you know what? We will allow your use of that to be a +1 die for the entire movement of through the window and away. Okay? So with that said, what skill and who is leading the movement?
I think... What skill do you want to use, Rob? Have you got any?
I was going to use Prowl again.
Okay,
because
that's
once
a good
I've
one.
opened the thing, I can jump down
Yep.
and tumble, and then hold the rope so that you guys can climb down. Now the big question is, do we actually want to take her with us or not? No, we're going to take her with us. Fuck it.
Very good.
Okay.
So you guys are
tell Cedric that we're coming out of this window, and he needs to.
So your role encompasses a lot of things. It encompasses going out the window. It puts on a disguise. It gets you out past the electrical fence and running towards your ship. So let's make this roll. This should be awesome. And first off, we have to have Wrecker make the same roll and see what he gets. What is your prowl roll, Wrecker?
My prowl is at 0.
This is, I know, so you're going to have to roll 2 dice and take the lowest. So this is...
But wait a second, I can spend some stress.
Oh, yes, you can. And then you get 1 dice.
Yeah, so I'm going down, so I'm spending, how many stress?
2.
2. So I've got to take 1 dice.
Yes. You could take a devil's bargain.
What would that be?
Well, there's a lot of windows on this place. And probably somebody sees you. Well, and maybe even recognizes you because you don't have your stuff on yet. It might even be the guy that knows you.
And that will give me an extra dice, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, let's. I'll take that as well.
You'll take that devil's bargain. Very good.
I'm now at 2 dice.
Yes, you are.
I don't know how you rolled 2 dice. And
So what you're going to do?
You just add 2 extras.
What you're going to do is, you probably will have to add +2. Let's see what it does when you do that. This is I'm going to say this is for you. It's a risky and normal or regular.
So who's going first?
You go first because what you do applies to your buddy, not to you.
So I'm doing risky, and I'm going to do
Standard.
Yeah.
Yep.
Standard, and it's +2 dice.
Yep. Let's see what happens. If you succeed, you give him an extra dice. If you fail, you cost him stress.
Okay.
And there we go. So you have failed. Your devil's bargain will apply no matter what. And the fact is you're going to wind up costing your buddy 2 stress as he moves across to do his job. So roll your dice, set it, knowing that you've already had 2 stress to make it happen.
Why won't my dice roll from the character sheet?
You put it over the word.
Yep, I've done that and I've clicked it.
Ah, dang it.
All right, I'll do it the normal way.
Okay, fair enough. 5.
It came up with a thing for risky and shit. So okay.
Okay. So, you take the 2 stress for carrying your buddy and everyone through the window and through the whole process. The get to the bottom, and there's a phenomenal montage of the disguise being put upon you by your partner, and the cloak, or however, how do you disguise that peacock tail? Which, by the way, has gone down. It's not expanded now. It's down to a single tail.
Well,
how do you guys do that?
How far back is it?
It extends about 3 or 4 feet. A meter and a little bit.
So if it's a meter from her arse,
then
it would probably go up to the back of your head.
Yes, and could be held there.
Yeah, so we'll put she's got this. We've got this reversible cloak.
Yes.
So we put the reversible cloak around her shoulders and have it just go straight up her back.
Very good.
Duct tape the feathers straight to her back.
Perfect. So the way this roll is going to work is you have a success. You're out, right? You have succeeded.
Yep.
However, the consequence of it not having a 6 is as you are leaving, the door opens and you see Magistrate Nog. And sadly, said it, you are looking over your shoulder right as the door opens and you make eye contact. And then away you go, pushing your charge out into the night, and you get across. Your cat joins you immediately, sort of cat, and you rush across to the boat, unmoor, and move off into the ink-dark channel. And you have succeeded in your heist. Phenomenal. And we will come back to your downtime and the fun things that happen thereafter. But wow, guys, that was pretty dang exciting. And we've got some interesting complications to cover as you now have claim to this particular hostess that is desired by a Lord Delvar that is no longer going to be able to walk in twirling a golden key, showing that he's the big dude who's going to get his way. And you may have sort of put yourself at odds with Vivian one of your best buddies. And oh, by the way, you may have been noticed by Magistrate Nog. There's all sorts of things that could possibly go wrong. However, at this point, before we get to the downtime where you get your pay and everything else, it looks like you have a successful heist. You have the golden key that you're asked for. You have the golden collar, and you have the young lady that is in question. Well done. I think it was a very fun night with a very interesting characters, and I look forward to seeing how this goes forward in the future. Did you guys enjoy this? What do you think of the methodology of the game as far as how it is compared to D&D and some of the other things that we play?
So yes, I did enjoy it. The method of the game is intriguing. Just because you don't have something doesn't mean to say that you can't do it.
Fair enough.
I think the whole premise is that as long as you can give a valid reason, and it's within the confines of what you're trying to do, pretty much anything goes.
Yeah.
The roles are there to just help decide whether it's done or not. So that's the type of role-playing game that I personally like, because sometimes D&D, it's roll heavy. You're rolling for this, you're rolling for that. Sometimes, you're rolling for the sake of rolling, when in actual fact you can, role play your way through certain aspects.
Absolutely.
I think it's really good. There's a limit to the physical area that you're in.
Yes.
But there's also a limit to the gameplay as well, because it's all heists. Or that type of thing. So it'd be interesting to see if it could be expanded in different ways, maybe. But maybe it can be. I don't know. Maybe there are rules within.
Absolutely, and it's things to explore. Absolutely,
exactly. You could play 100 games and not get sick of it.
Yeah. So I think it's fun, and there's so many.
And not get sick of it. To be fair. There is only one question. There is only one thing, not a question. There is only one thing that I kind of haven't quite grasped yet, or
very good.
I don't like about, which is in the bit that we've actually just finished. It did seem like I was taking on a lot of the stress.
So that's an interesting thing.
It's like my next foray with this character, I more than likely wouldn't actually be at the forefront. I would more than likely only chip in if my skills
how much stress
are relevant. I'm one off maximum.
So here's the fun thing, Rob, and sadly we're out of time to do it, but your downtime is designed where you have two actions, and you can use both to de-stress, or you can use one to de-stress and one to do other things, and there's multiple things you can do. So the downtime is your chance to de-stress before you move forward again, right? So if you indulge in pleasure, you get to roll a d6, or maybe more, depending. And if you roll below that amount that you need or exact, you fill it up and you're out of stress. If you overdo it, you overindulge and get out of control, and you might have to miss the next session and have a different character play.
Can I ask a quick question, Anthony?
Yes.
If you've got a D6, but you've got more than 6 stress,
then you're good to go.
Then you're automatically going to be able to
absolutely
roll one dice and get rid of all your stress.
Unless you've got an extra dice for something else that you need.
It's well worth using up most of your stress.
You don't save stress. Burn it. It's what you're all about. You guys are pushing it to the edge. And stress is what eventually kills you, right? It's sometimes it's actual damage. It is. But most of the time it's stress. It's stress that pushes you until you have horrible effects. And once you have a couple of those, then you're done. And you got to retire because you can't take any more. So, yeah, exactly. And so if you were to indulge right there and you had some extra dice, etc., you would be able to pull off a lot of stress. And we'll get to that later. But now you know sort of how this all works. It's an interesting game. I enjoy it. I think that the game almost makes itself because when you roll something and I have to come up with a complication, it just makes the game move. And we're all creating at the same time to make a really cool story that none of us expected when we started. I thought it was a great story, and I can't wait to see what happens now that you actually have this young lady in your possession. And what are you going to do with her? And what strange things would you have to do to free her from the magic that causes her compulsion to follow what you say now that you have the key? So anyway, we'll figure that out at another time. And I thank you so much, guys, for staying up late and dorking around with this. It's been a lot of fun. And we'll do this again. And hopefully we'll even add some more people to your gang. But thank you. Did you guys have fun?
I did, yeah.
Brilliant. Well done. That's the overstatement of the British that you just heard there. So anyway, I thank you again.
No,
yay! It was the greatest thing ever. Oh, why?
Yay, man!
Anyway, there you go. There's a little more American response. Okay, thank you guys so much. I really enjoyed every second of it, and we will knock this out again. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, take care. Thanks, Felix. Thanks, Bugs. And oh, by the way, you guys have got to watch Bugs on Twitch. He has so many cool streams where he plays, and sometimes he even lets Felix and I play in Star Citizen. And we make absolute fools of ourselves compared to him, but it's a lot of fun. Bugs, what are some of your awesome Twitch streams?
I've got to go, but good night.
Bye. Bye, Felix.
My awesome Twitch streams, well, they're all the same, really. But yeah, you can find me on twitch.tv/BugsyBoy and on YouTube, which is @BugsyBoy.
Good stuff. Hey, thanks so much. And by the way, the light bulbs on the bed behind Felix, he just purchased, and he's got some ridiculously awesome steampunk light bulbs that I may put in my office here in the near future. So brilliant on him. And by the way, all of you think good thoughts at Felix. He's a GP who's working his tail off here in the UK, and he's a good man. All right. Thank you guys so much for your time. And we will catch you again in the near future. God bless. Okay, bye. I'm letting this burn for a second. I am sorry, Rob.